Greetings and greetings to you all. This is Master Blango, and this is the Five Elements Quest for the Ultimate Truth. And today we're going to talk about the two final stage of the psychological warfare that we've been talking about, from the horrors of slavery to the modern slogan of Black Lives Matter. We will see how all relate to this big plan. This all black thing is a small part, so I say a small part of a bigger plan. And we're going to try to break it down to the best of our understanding. This is Master Abdullah on the Five Elements journey. We all know that America is the center stage of this psychological warfare. This is where the war is being fought. Because whatever happens here ripples many parts of the world or affect lives in many parts of the world beyond American borders. So America is where the war is being waged. This is the battlefield. It is a very sad reality to see this generation, this African American generation, who were destined to be the warriors in the front line of this psychological warfare, due to the history, from the horrors of slavery to the struggle of their forefathers. For that reason, they were meant to be the warriors in the psychological warfare against the mind that enslaved their ancestors, their forefathers fought to be free from. And they said reality, they are conquered by the same mind. And a few days ago here in New York City, watching them on the street displaying that mentality of defeat, it was saddened watching it. And they don't even realize it, they don't even understand it. And why this event in New York is unique from all other march. I'm not a politician, but when the head of the city, the mayor, came out with courage to boldly condemn the action, the crime that was committed by these police officers, a bold act and a right and just act, I believe. Condemning, say, I'm not with the authority that violate the law. I'm not with the police. The officers that are committing this crime, I'm not with them. I'm with the protesters. I'm with the victims. Therefore, anyone who understood psychological warfare and cared for justice would have endorsed that. And that was a great opportunity right there. I'm not saying not people for not to protest, but leave the city in touch. To honor that, to send a clear message and a positive message that we are here for justice. But what happened? The city faced the same violence just as other city anyway, regardless of his effort and his bold act. The city he's leading was not spared from this lawlessness. And what this means, this sends a clear message that does not matter you with them or you against them. They will do what they do anyway because that's what they do. Here you are given opportunity to display your very best nature, and yet you're still displaying the very worst of you, which leave many to say there's no very best of you. It's all that is in you is what they see you doing. See? Making fool out of yourself for the whole world to see. You have been conquered. And if the ancestors and the forefathers who passed could watch from the spiritual world, they will be full with grief and shame for what they're seeing in full them at this very moment in time. That the generation that was supposed to conquer the mind that put them into horrors and sorrows, this generation, the same generation, is conquered by the same mind. A sad reality, a sad reality, a very sad reality. Generation who were meant to be the warriors in the front line of this psychological warfare turned out to be worthless combatants. That someone else have to fight to win this war for them. Because the very weapon they needed for the warfare is neglected or unused. For not to be conquered by any individual or situation, for not to be conquered, period. This is the weapon you need. This is the weapon you need for not to be conquered. This is the weapon you need for not to be conquered by anyone or any system. This is a psychological warfare that you really need to understand. And when you do, all this ruthlessness will come to an end. Because you will understand it's not how you win the war. You will understand it's not how you win the war. As long as you maintain your ruthlessness and lawlessness toward one another or toward any authority, you will always be conquered. You will always be conquered. All this violence, burning police cars, defiance against the authority. You are allowed to do that. They allow you to do that. The authority allow you to do that. They want, as a matter of fact, they want you to do that. So, to paint the picture clearer for the whole world to see that you're not human. You're savages. That's what you do. Therefore, when time comes to throw you in the jail for no reason, kill you on the street for no reason, I said they deserve it. They're not human. They're not human. They deserve it. You are feeding to their plan. You're acting exactly the way they want you to act. You are conquered. You are conquered by the same mind that enslaved your ancestors, your forefathers struggled to be free with. You are conquered by the same mind. You are conquered by the same mind. And it's unfortunate that someone else have to win this war for you. Someone else have to fight, have to win this war for you. Because the weapon you need to win this war is neglected. There's a slogan in the community: knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. You have any? You have power? Well, if you had power, you won't be acting like monkeys in the jungle, on the street, making full out of yourself for the whole world to see. Drinking, intoxicating, throwing your empty bottle to the authority. And while the authority are moving back, you fight up like acting like you are king of the jungle, not even realizing that you have been conquered. You are conquered. This all black thing is a part, is a small part, so I say a small part of a bigger plan. See, in World War II, in Germany, Hitler and his Nazi party had an agenda to build a society of their choosing, a society of Aryan race, a superior race, Aryan race, which is kind of ironic because the one who led this ideology of Aryan race, Hitler himself, was not qualified, not even close to be qualified of the type of individual they were describing Aryan race. Hitler was physically fragile, live in medication, and mentally unstable as well, but lead an ideology of building a society of elite people, while himself was far from qualified. And those whom they see unqualified, let's say the disabled people and the mentally unstable, they saw these people as a burden of the plan, burden of the nation, unusable. So the agenda or solution was exterminating them, just as they did to their enemies, because they didn't fit in the model of the society they were trying to build, or they envisioned to build, hope to build. That's what the Nazi did in World War II in Germany. And this is what happening in a larger scale. If you understand the word New World Order or the world of the rich and the richer, it's one of the same, by the same people, following the same program on a larger scale. And as the Nazis sees the disabled, the crippled disabled, and the mentally unstable as unusable, solution extermination, that's the same ideology. That's why they say the world of the rich and the richer, the first class and above. Everyone below will be unusable in the society they hope, envision of building, which is the new world order, is what it's all about. And that is to commit the ultimate genocide to the human race, through wars, in the name of medical science, in many other means. They plan to carry out this plan to exterminate billions of people of the human race. And the resources of the earth will be just enough to keep their society to live in peace and harmony. But that plan can only fit a very few, but not all humanity. Yeah, that's why they say this world is overpopulating. So human reduction, the population reduction is necessary. But what they fail to realize is that it can never work, it will never work, and never work. Just as he failed in Germany with Hitler. They thought they got it all figured out. They thought they got all figured out. And that due to that ambition, they failed to realize or to see that they were orchestrating, creating, and marching to their own self-destruction, because that was reality testified. Their plan of an ungodly society led them to their self-destruction. And that is the same fate of this group of elites that hoping to create an ungodly world of the rich and the richer, what they call a new world order. Their humiliation and destruction would be far greater than Hitler and his Nazi party. That is their fate. That is their fate. That is their fate.